Hour 2, Jones and Keefe, Patriots Monday, here on WEEI. That was Robert Spillane.
Good game for Spillane.
It was.
He's all over the place.
I do like the dark visor. That I like.
Love it.
I mentioned last week. Was that last week we re-tiered the Patriots positions? I think that was last week.
Yeah, we were down on the linebackers, but Spillane's turning it around.
No, I mean,
he started poorly.
He started very poorly the first couple of weeks. I've still been a little underwhelmed, but yesterday was a really good showing by him.
Nice.
Throws right to him. Good return. Thought he should have gotten the end zone. Well, but
he wanted to give one for the offense.
But a good overall day for him. And the Patriots defense outside of that opening drive, which remains a concern, Keith. I was let me just tell you, I was not encouraged when I saw this tweet yesterday morning from Mike Reese. I guess Mike Vrabel on the pregame show across the street said he had assistant coach Ben McAdoo put together an opening script to test the defense in practice this week.
Yeah, how'd that go?
With a focus on starting faster. It did not go well.
Well, no.
I've seen
back to the drawing board.
I've seen these McAdoo offenses. Why did you think
he's still there?
Why did you think he was the guy?
Well, someone's gonna do the memes.
Is he doing the memes still?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
The Monday memes.
Meme Lord McAdoo. And he's just he comes out with his scripted plays, and they're like, "Hey Ben, you don't do anything other than Top Gun memes. So why don't you come downstairs and script some plays?" And that didn't work.
Yeah.
So Dylan Gabriel and the Browns offense, and this is just about every week, 6 of the 8 opponents have scored on their opening drive.
And it's been
this year.
Scrubby quarterbacks, too. It's Bryce Young, it's Dylan Gabriel, it's Geno Smith.
And it's easy. 6 plays, 70 yards, 19-yarder to Fannin, 31 end around to Malachi Corley. Next play, Fannin's in the end zone. it's way too easy.
Yeah.
The way these scrubby quarterbacks do it.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cam Ward.
Vrabel talked about it a lot last week. He called Ben McAdoo downstairs to script plays.
Yeah.
So clearly he was concerned about it, and it's on their mind. They're trying to address it, and they still can't solve it. It's not a huge issue.
No.
They dominated this game after that opening drive, and specifically in that third quarter with the Spillane pick 6, kind of getting some of that started. But it's on their mind. They want to correct it, and they still haven't been able to fix it.
It's very strange.
I wonder how they can't solve it against some of the teams and quarterbacks.
All right, you're going to have to ask Ben McAdoo not to be involved. So this is what you do. You get Josh McDaniels and say, look, I know you got a lot on your plate, but what would you do if you were the Falcons? What would your first 10 plays be? And let's go up against that. Because whatever we're doing, it's not working. But it's funny, a lot of these games have had a very similar script. And so once they get a stop on that second or third possession, right? So they march down the field and score, does Cleveland, and you're like, oh boy, because I always think Dylan Gabriel stinks. I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that was pretty good. And then the next two possessions,
you hated him the whole draft year. You hated him draft season. You were not a Dylan Gabriel guy. So he's a little itty bitty guy.
The next two possessions, it's 4 plays 12 yards, 4 plays 5 yards, then 3 plays 6 yards, and you're like, oh, they're not going to move the ball again. You're like, at that point, the Patriots either figured him out or the Browns, whatever pixie dust they had. But what's strange to me is that all these teams. You're telling me all these teams are that good at scripting plays, and then they're that bad after the fact? Mm-hmm. It's weird because it's not a high-scoring offense. A lot of these teams that they've played are not high-scoring offenses, and yet they look like these unbeatable wagons on the first possession, and then they turn back into a pumpkin.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
And I don't have a good answer for it.
No, I don't. Well, I think if they did, we wouldn't still see it.
And ironically, one of their best games defensively and to start was against Josh Allen and the Bills. So it makes no sense.
True.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Against the Bills, they started okay. Against I think it was the Bills and Steelers. I think or was it?
Well,
it was Dolphins. I'm sorry. Bills and Dolphins were the two. That's it.
Is it maybe because the teams that are not as good offensively, the only thing they can do is the scripted plays? Whereas Josh Allen and maybe even Mike McDaniel are we have all game to make adjustments and we have all game to do different things, and that's why, at least in the case of the Bills, they're better. I don't know. It's peculiar.
So
and I wouldn't rule it out this weekend.
And again,
if Michael Penix goes down the field and scores in the first drive, I don't think we even joked about it last week. Didn't we say bet opening?
Got to do it this week.
Bets I should have bet. My favorite segment. Bets I should have bet. First drive touchdown for the Browns.
Let me tell you, I had a lot of bets this weekend I should not have bet.
Oh, same.
About the only thing that hit was Bill covering. That's about the only thing that
Bill
hit this
did
weekend.
Big cover for Bill.
I had a lot of non-hits this weekend.
Close. He was like a Kevin Dyson in the end of the Super Bowl away from winning that game.
It's true.
Yeah.
I lost to Scheinman Fantasy.
Yeah, not good.
I lost another fantasy match. I got knocked out of Survivor.
I lost the Bozo for us.
It was not a good. Well, we both.
Yeah, you also lost.
Yeah, it was
tough
disaster.
But
the
Pats won. The Pats won. That's been consistent.
That's true. When it comes to the scripted plays and the defense and how they start, if you think we're making too much of it, just remember, Vrabel harped on it all week and had McAdoo script the plays. So to me, that means they're concerned about it and they still can't get it done. We can debate how big of a deal that is, but it was a big enough deal in their mind to try to change it this week, and nothing changed. Mark is in Rockport. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Good. So, look, notwithstanding the fact that the running game is showing signs of life, I feel like this team has so much going for it, and just one puzzle piece that could really take us from maybe getting to the playoffs to going deep into the playoffs is if we pick up like a dynamic running back, a guy who like on second and third down you could swing the ball to, because it does two things. Obviously, it gets the ball in the hands of a skilled player, but also, we've been talking this morning about Drake May getting sacked and, possibly getting hurt, whatever. Obviously, it gives him an option to not get crushed and railroaded. He swings a pass, dumps it off left or right into that running back's hands. And I think that's just, one piece, maybe the most important thing that the Pats could pick up.
So, Mark, my hope would be that conference. My hope would be that Henderson is that.
Yeah, I mean, Henderson finally had a good game. I know he fumbled, so it's always one of those things where just when you want to get happy about the running backs, something like that happens. But he had his best game by far, 10 carries, 75 yards.
I think he only played – I'm double-checking this right now. I think he only played 14 snaps. So, like, pretty much every time he was in the game, it was a run. I don't think they asked him to pass block much at all. They couldn't have. Yeah, he played fewer snaps than Kyle Williams yesterday. He played 14 snaps, and he had 10 carries. It felt like he was out there more. He ripped off two nice runs right early on in the game for the Patriots on their opening field goal drive. So,
real quick before I forget, it's talking about like snap counts and everything. This would be maybe a deep dive exercise. Steph Diggs played 35 of the 68 plays. I wonder how many of those were pass plays, because I feel like when he's not on the sidelines, when they just hand the ball off.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that is going to be something where it becomes too predictable. It used to be, you remember, it was like Sony Michel run, James White pass, like here. Yeah.
Well, that's like pretty much what they were doing yesterday. If Henderson was in the game, it was a run.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Maybe there is some of that with McDaniels. We'll monitor. It didn't hold him back yesterday. But despite the late fumble, which obviously wasn't great.
No.
But if Vrabel's going to be even halfway consistent, Henderson showed something yesterday. They need bodies out there. Ramondre Stevenson's been fumbling for 2 straight years, and they don't bench him. They don't sit him down. They let him play week to week. So
big step back for him too this week.
It was. This fumble should not be held against Henderson. Let's monitor it. Let's remember it. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
But
how would you even know? He doesn't play anyway.
Who?
Yeah, Henderson. Like, does he get his time taken away?
Probably not. If he got his snaps limited.
Yeah, he probably doesn't.
No, I wouldn't hold that against him. I would give him more work next week. So let's see if Vrabel does that. But if he's consistent, he shouldn't hold that against Henderson. He plays Stevenson every week.
It is back-to-back games with 175 or more rushing yards.
Yeah, that to me is where I want to give Josh the most credit today. Yeah. Like, if you're going to give McDaniels anything, the passing game, so much of that is Drake's brilliance that I don't even know where to draw the line between he and McDaniels. I give McDaniels some credit. Yeah. For the Hunter Henry touchdown was a nice schemed play to Henry. So some of it I can see from Josh. But the running game is where I would want to give him a lot of credit today.
Yeah,
and really for the last couple of weeks.
It's far and away the most rushing yards the Browns have given up this season. So, like, I look at that, and you're like, I did not expect it. We thought it might be more of an uglier game, and that might not be an area where they have a lot of success. They gave up 109 to the Lions back on week 4. That's Sonic and Knuckles. And then they gave up an even 100 2 weeks ago to Pittsburgh. Every other team has been under 100. They've had a couple of games under 50. And then the Patriots go out there and put 177 on them. So that was super impressive. The Pats had 422 yards of total offense, which is far and away the most against the Browns.
I'm not surprised they won. I thought they would win. I thought they would cover.
Yeah.
I thought the game would go under.
Sure.
I thought it would be ugly on offense, which for half of the game it was. No, in the third quarter, they blew it open. They moved the football way better than I expected them to against this Browns defense. And I don't just say, oh, it's the Browns, what do you expect?
No.
That's a good defense.
Definitely.
And Drake May looked like an MVP. They ran it well. Like, I give them a lot of credit for that. The one area where they struggled, obviously, was Myles Garrett yesterday.
Yeah. Now, good news is you won't face Myles Garrett in the playoffs. That guy will be so far away from the playoffs, it's not even funny.
You shouldn't.
So you don't have to worry about that. But, yeah, he was an absolute menace, and it wasn't just he's good against everybody. Like, he was insane yesterday. They didn't really have answers for him. I do, however, give credit to McDaniels. It's not that Garrett didn't have a couple of sacks in the second half, but they didn't try to just do the exact same thing that they were doing. Like they went maybe either deeper in the playbook or to another section of the playbook. Like they found other things to run that they hadn't been, and they had success doing it. So even with a guy on the other side who's having one of the all-time great days for a defensive player, you score 32 points. You had a short field, whatever. You still scored a touchdown on that drive. You had two really long, sustained drives in the third quarter as well. So that's amazing. I don't know if we said this on the air or not, but it's the first time a player in the NFL has had 5 sacks in a game or more and didn't keep the game within like 3, right? It's happened in a few losses, but it was like a 3-point loss. This was a blowout, and he had 5 sacks.
In the second half. And
yeah. Well, I mean, by the final score.
You said it. They came out and they had a couple of sustained drives. Their first drive after the Cleveland 3-and-out in the third quarter, they marched down the field. They get the Henry touchdown. They have the short field after the Spillane pick, which set him up for back-to-back Diggs throws, the 1-yard touchdown.
Yeah, good for Diggs, by the way.
It was. Good to see him get in the end zone. Yep. And then they had the 39-yarder to Booty, so they were able to move it in that second half yesterday. I had a tweet that I guess I thought was pretty innocuous yesterday.
Sick brag, bro.
Let's hear about this. Let's read this tweet.
I said, Myles Garrett dominates everybody. True.
That is true.
I said, but it's going to be a quiet week for the Will Campbell's arm length doesn't matter crowd. Wrong.
Oh, you woke them up.
They're quite vocal.
You woke them up. You poked them.
They're quite vocal.
See, I would say this is not about Will Campbell's short arms. This is about Will Campbell maybe being slightly above average player.
Sure.
That's my take on it more than anything else.
I just think you saw for the first time on a football field, and look, he dominated Morgan Moses on the other side as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He dominates a lot of offensive linemen. But it all started yesterday. He was beasting on Will Campbell in a first half where it was close. I think that is where you saw some of the arm length.
But if he had like 10-foot arms, I think Myles Garrett still torches him.
I don't think he gets to 5. He might get to 4.
Yeah, maybe he gets one less. Maybe he stops one extra time. Yeah, I mean,
but he set a franchise record against the T-Rex arms tackle, which has not reared its ugly head. He doesn't set a franchise record every week. Oh, he dominates everybody. Yeah. True. Oh, he does this every week. No, he does not. He does not set franchise records and rack up 5 sacks every single week. It's the first time in NFL history. It happened in a blowout, as you just said.
No, I know. Like, this isn't just he's good against everybody because it was the first time the Patriots as a franchise have allowed 5 sacks. First time Myles Garrett, even in his Hall of Fame career, has even had that number. So, no, that is definitely different, and he was at the center of a lot of those. But I just think, to me, it's less about the arm length because he has played 7 games or whatever where you're like, all right, he's a serviceable tackle. I'm not putting him in the Pro Bowl yet. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a line there where you're like, all right, he looks like a starting tackle, but it doesn't mean he's perfect. And yesterday, because he wasn't great in the Tennessee game.
Thank you. So
you're following that up with back-to-back not great games.
You saying he's serviceable, I think is right. He's played 8 games.
Yeah.
He was bad against Vegas in the opener. Yeah. He was bad against Pittsburgh, which is T.J. Watt. I get it.
Yeah,
he was bad
against Crosby, Watt.
He was bad against Tennessee, and he was bad yesterday. Yeah. So that doesn't mean he can't play tackle. But that does mean he's a rookie feeling his way out. And calling him serviceable, Keith, I think is accurate. And that's a massive upgrade over last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think Campbell has mostly been fine. But there is a section of the fan base that wants to turn him into a Pro Bowler or a Hall of Famer. And I don't think we've seen that. He's a wild improvement over what they got.
Right.
Or what they had a year ago. I think so far he's been worth the 4th overall pick.
So
I'm not saying it's a bust of a pick or anything.
No, it's not a bust of a pick. 4th overall pick is.
You don't think so?
That is like a Pro Bowl, all-pro guy.
Okay.
But it was such a need, and they struck out on it.
That's why I'd say it was probably worth it.
No, and they're 6-2, so I guess in that sense, yes, it's worth it. But I think if you look back on it, and we talked about this, if Will Campbell is Nate Solder, is everybody agreeing that that's an awesome pick? Or you're like, well,
it's fine.
Want a little bit more.
Right.
So it's early. He's halfway through his rookie year. But I feel like Nate Solder, who was not the 4th pick in the draft, I think he was like 17 somewhere in there. Yeah. It's like, okay. I forget, he might not even have been the first tackle taken. Whereas, like, Will Campbell was the first offensive lineman taken. And, yeah, he's going to, have his lumps against T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett, and we'll see where he goes from here.
Text line, relax. Campbell was just tiring him out. He's playing chess.
Rope-a-dope.
There's also this. Some of those sacks are on Drake May. Do you agree with that yesterday? Taking too long to get the football out?
I don't know about yesterday. I would say the overall total, we had a caller bring up, he's been sacked 29 times. I think you could go through a bunch of those. I don't know about yesterday, though.
No, yesterday I feel like they were getting home pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of Drake May holding on to the football yesterday, but overall, that's probably a fair criticism of Drake, and he's had that criticism of himself.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, here's Will Campbell after the game on his matchup with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He beat me. a few times, and it's just part of the game. He gets paid a lot of money, and he got me a couple times, and I just had to keep coming back and keep fighting. Just glad we got the win.
Okay. I mean, look, he wasn't running from it yesterday. I give Will Campbell credit for that.
Did you hear what Myles Garrett said about him? He's like, he's strong.
I did hear he said he called him strong. He was very complimentary to Drake May, too.
Yeah.
After the game.
He's like, can I play for you guys? That looks like a lot more fun.
I would happily go over there. Yeah. Mike Vrabel also talked about some of the struggles yesterday as an offensive line, not just Will Campbell, in blocking Myles Garrett with 5 sacks.
Just curious your thoughts on Myles Garrett today, and I imagine you guys had him emphasize during the week just how hard is this guy to block, I guess.
Oh, to block. Okay, good.
Just size, speed, athleticism, bend. Having watched him last year, it's impressive, and it's hard. We're trying to chip him, and he gumbies around one guy and then speed bursts. The other guy is just an elite athlete with a tremendous skill set. And, I'm glad that, we don't play him twice every year unless we're both in the playoffs. So, he's just a dynamic player, and, they do a nice job with him, and he certainly impacts a lot of football games.
Did you see
Reese? Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, do you think he finishes his career there, or do you think it's like a trade, or does something happen? Because they compare him to like Reggie White, and you're like, well, Reggie White at least changed teams and had that run with the Packers. Like, I feel like it would be awful.
Reggie White left in free agency, right? Like he was like
he did. He did.
Landmark free agency.
He was like
case.
The Packers never did that, but I just, for a guy like that, is it going to be Calvin Johnson, where you're like this Hall of Fame career, and it's pretty much just one bad team?
He just re-upped there.
No, I know.
So
they gave him a ton of money, though.
Maybe what he should do is what players do in the NBA all the time. They get their contract and then they force their way out. I mean, that's what
somebody would take the contract on.
For sure.
I mean, my God.
For sure. But no, I was going to say, just thinking of Myles Garrett on the other side, not the Patriots are going to acquire Myles Garrett. But Reese wrote about how a pass rusher, really depth behind Landry and Caleb Chason would be a need. Where is that on your needs list? We had somebody bring up running back earlier.
I think running back and safety are still my top 2. I think running back, I'm with the call. Like, I'm not running away from Henderson, and I'll embrace the game that he had yesterday. But there's been a lot of times where so far this season he hasn't looked great. They wanted to have a 3-headed running back room. Gibson goes down. Ramondre's been inconsistent, I would say, on top of the fumbles. The fumbles are always a concern with Ramondre. And then, yesterday he runs for 2.4 yards a carry. So I'd say running back, safety. I mean, one of those touchdowns, Woodson was right there, just had like an awkward flail jump at it. I don't really trust him.
That was the Njoku touchdown, right?
That was the Njoku touchdown. Hawkins kind of giveth and he taketh away. I can't really make heads or tails on Hawkins. And then when Duggar's out there, you're afraid for coverage. So I think safety and running back.
And I would say the same thing about A.J. Brown in Philly. Not that I think the Patriots are getting A.J. Brown, but since you brought up Duggar and Keon White, neither were active yesterday. And Duggar was on the injury report during the week.
Yeah.
But they were both inactive. Like, those inactive players leading up to the trade deadline, and A.J. Brown at times out with his bye week now this week.
Yeah.
I would be getting ready for some names like that to be getting moved. And so keep an eye on guys like Duggar and Keon White as subtractions, and we'll see if they add anything between now and the deadline.